Hello and welcome to Smart Insight Traders. My name is Alan and this is the weekly roundup for the Bank Nifty Index for the last week of May that began on the 27th, the Monday. When this week began, we had a breakaway gap on the daily time frame which was here, and we had identified the drawn liquidity resting here at 49,607. So when this week started, we expected price to tap into this daily drawn liquidity and then retrace back into these fair value gaps that it had left behind. After Monday, we had another normal fair value gap, which was here. We had marked this out. You can see my analysis for Monday. It's there in a separate video. I'll leave the link here. So in today's video, we will discuss what happened over the last 4 days and what our outlook is for the very important election results week. The premiums are high. We are expecting a large range, good volatility, and how we can maximize our returns and trade smartly and safely in this given period. So when the Monday daily candle closed, we had this fair value gap where we possibly price could have tapped and gone up ahead. Personally, I wasn't expecting this gap to hold, and I was actually expecting price to come and tap into this daily order block here. But let's see what price did on Tuesday when it tapped into this fair value gap. We are going to observe this on the 15 minutes time frame. Here we are on a 15 minutes time frame, and this is Tuesday. We opened with a gap up. This was an inside candle. We spent most of the day inside this range. There wasn't much to do. We were expecting it to come lower, but it only did that towards the end of the day, absolute end of the day. The last candle, the 315 candle, just tapped into the daily fair value gap and closed just above it, giving us no indication, no trades for that day. I was expecting the next day to give some kind of bullish momentum, a bounce at least of this daily fair value gap, but that did not happen either. The bearish momentum that was there simply continued. So I did not get any trades on this day as I was biased towards the upside and could not capitalize much on the lower side. Towards the end of the day, I was looking for a bearish trade of a 75 minutes fair value gap. Here we had a 75 minutes fair value gap. I'll highlight it for you. But on Tuesday, we did not get any stab into it, and price just kept on going lower. So for me, it was a no trade. Sorry, this was the Wednesday. So this was a no trade Wednesday for me. On this expiry, I did not get any trades because it did not fit into any of my trade setups. So that's where we were at. Here we are on the daily time frame. When the Wednesday daily candle closed, what we got was a fair value gap between the Monday candle and the Wednesday candle. It's very small. Let me highlight it for you. Here it is highlighted in orange. So when we opened with a gap down on Thursday, our first target was to reach this daily fair value gap. Here is the Thursday open. We got a massive first 15 minutes candle. There was a normal fair value gap that was created. That is here, a 15 minutes fair value gap that was created. We also had a 15 minutes order block sitting right here, of which also we could trade off. The only trade that I took on Thursday was of this normal fair value gap here and captured close to 200 points on the index. I'll show you that trade. It came off this fair value gap, this small fair value gap, this normal fair value gap. Price tapped into this. The target was the daily fair value gap sitting right here at 49,022. Premiums have been high, very high. So I have been trading a much lesser quantity, but this was a good trade that worked out. Once price tapped into this daily fair value gap and generated this strong bearish momentum, I was expecting price to come down and tap into this daily order block sitting right here. Not everything that we expect happens the way we want it to happen. We opened again on Friday, that is today, with a huge gap up. We went back, stabbed into it, generated another bearish momentum again, but failed to clear these lows. We've gone back up into it again and closed here. This is somewhat of a no trade zone for me. What can we expect going into the next week ahead? Let's have a look at that. It will be interesting to look at the weekly candle that is closed today. Here is the weekly candle that we have. And a good thing to note here would be this weekly fair value gap that we now have sitting between the week that started on Monday the 13th and this week. Let's highlight that. Here, highlighted in white, is the weekly fair value gap that we have now. And this has generated a pretty good liquidity above it. If you observe this on a 15 minutes chart, we have a couple of equal lows, something of a trend line that is being forming here that price has taken support off of. So under this low, the low of the Thursday candle, there is a decent bit of liquidity sitting. I still strongly feel that before we start the actual election rally and go back and hit the all time highs, we are definitely going to come and go below this low and even tap into this daily order block, not much of a difference. And from here, this weekly fair value gap, here we should get a good entry. Look for something on the 75 minutes time frame. Right now at the 75 minutes time frame, there are no bullish fair value gaps. But once we come and tap into this zone here, this weekly fair value gap, then we should get some very good bullish momentum that we can see, and a bullish 75 minutes fair value gap. It may be a normal fair value gap or a breakaway gap. That will be your perfect indication that price now has put the bottom in and is going to go back up above and hit all-time highs. And this time we're surely going to hit 50k and cross above it also, hopefully. uh, all things considered, we are looking at another stable government coming from the NDA. So watch out for this weekly fair value gap in the next week and see if you can get some sort of bullish confirmation in this zone going back above, and it would be an excellent trade to go and hit our all-time highs. Our drawn liquidity now first would be this high and then would be this weekly all-time high. Be mindful that it's the election results week. It's an high impact event. Markets are going to be volatile. Premiums are going to be high. They are already sky high. So have tight stop losses, hedge your positions if possible, and only take trades after you get confirmation. So that's it from this video. Let's see how things work out. We will come back midweek and try and analyze if any of what we discussed so far has worked out. You can also see our last week video. I'll leave a link at the end of this video and see which of our price projections actually came true. So till the next video, take care and trade smart.